All right, hi everyone. So today I'm with top 4 PPG contestant right here, Alex, aka Base Loli. So he
Yo,
did,
yo.
yo. So he did something that no one thought like he could do, and he topped with Mayakashi's, but not just Mayakashi's. He topped with Eldlich Mayakashi. So today we're gonna delve into some of his deck building theory, his card choices, and like why he decided to take this deck to the event. So without further ado, I'll introduce you to Alex. What's up, man?
Thank you, Pat. Thank you for having me, bro.
Of course.
Appreciate it. Yeah, so I played like a Mayakashi deck, but good luck trying to top anything with just Mayakashi. So I needed like a supplementary engine to make the deck better, to make it perform more consistently,
Right.
and also to make the extra deck stronger, because you'll notice like a lot of the Mayakashis, when they're summoned, like the extra deck monsters, they don't actually do anything. They're literally just vanillas. So it really needs to be kind of like paired with a deck that can really take advantage of their revival effects, right?
Okay,
so the Eldlich cards came out, and now this idea wasn't my idea. You know what? Despite all my success in the TCG or whatever, there is never a point where you stop learning ever. So, I really believe it. So, shout out to Duelist Academy. I really believe in their coaching service. I think that's like a really, I think they have a good impact on the community. So, what I did, just whatever, right? Just pulled out $50 out of my pocket. I was like, here, take it, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, bro, you need coaching. I'm like, relax. But also, it opened me up to their entire Patreon. And so Jesse Cotton posted a deck it wasn't this deck, but it was very similar. And it was this idea, the central, right?
Gotcha.
And so it's very much a Jesse, right? So it's like a Jesse Cotton deck. And the thought process is, at least I don't know from Jesse's front, but when I looked at it, it really, because the Eldlich, like the Golden Lord and all that, it reminds me of like a Monarch deck where it's just like a really, really good main deck. But it didn't have, like the rank 10s are awesome, but it didn't really take advantage of its extra deck very well. So I thought maybe the way to kind of make it above and beyond is have it also extra deck focused, and thus the supplementary engine came in. Also, just real quick to add, the spell cards for the Eldlich spells are like they're like good to open. Not the quick play, but the other one is like good to open one copy of to start. But it's like really bad throughout the game. And then like the quick play one, the quick play one's just terrible. But the Mayakashis make those cards really, really good. So it makes other cards in your deck better too. So that's why. So that was where that's where the synergy comes in between the two, for sure.
It's the second clause where like if you control an Eldritch monster, you basically summon any zombie you want, and that's the effect that no one really looks at that part of the effect. I don't. I'm like, what? Like, what am I gonna summon? Ass Blossom?
Exactly. So but that's the point. Like, some people were summoning like Balderach or whatever his name is, like the big guy with Zombie World, but you also have to have Zombie World for it to be good. So it was like, you really need like a payoff off of that card, and Hajun itself isn't a payoff, but the board it makes is like really, really good. So with the other spells and stuff, especially when you're able to like start with Eldland, and then you're gonna end up with like an Eldlixir set. So you're going to have either a non-targeting spell and trap destruction in Tengu, or monster destruction in Yoko. Worst case scenario, you have the big guy, the level 11, who is just unaffected by everything for one turn. It's probably the worst. It's probably the worst. Well, the level 5 is probably worse, but that one's pretty bad. And then the level 3, there are some situations actually where you bring the level 3 back in order to make all your guys indestructible by battle, so that's even better than the 11. I don't know why they made the 11 so bad, but
I figured 11 would be the best one, but
right, you'd think so, right? It's definitely just the 7 and the 9 that are just like the MVPs out of the extra deck. Also there's a Link 4 too, so I can go through it card by card if you want.
Sure. So how about we start off with like the main deck, and we'll just walk into like each of your choices. So we have like 3 Eldlich, of course, the Golden Lord. You have the 3 Nibiru, right? So, and then the 3 Phantasmi. So walk me through your process behind like these hand traps for this like event at least.
Right. So I only played Phantasme and Nibiru, and that was mainly because I I wouldn't say I over-evaluated Nibiru, but it definitely wasn't as good as I thought it was as I was playing in the tournament.
Right.
Only because you run into the scenarios where, because there's so much emphasis and importance on White Destiny and Sanguine, that locks you out of special summoning like Nibiru and Phantasme, obviously.
Right.
So you'd have them kind of like, there are situations where you just get them stuck in your hand.
Yeah.
However, I think the most vulnerable turn this deck has is the first turn when you don't have like anything.
Yep.
As far as like your opponent is playing and they're doing all these combos and stuff, and then you just have like nothing. I mean,
you just get FTK.
You can have like hand traps, but right, exactly. So I mean, you know, like it can get pretty bad really fast. So I wanted to have. I thought Nibiru would be like a good equalizer, and I wanted Phantasme to get me into that. But also having Phantasme up on the board meant like, you know, in the same way that people are kind of splashing Invoked into
Eldlich.
Into Eldlich, which I don't like. I don't really like that, to be honest with you. And I can go into that in a second. But in that same vein, Phantasme can also discard traps, just like Mechaba can.
Right.
So it can like discard a trap if like any of your guys get targeted, and then during the end phase, you'll get the effect. Or like if it's Sanguine, you can just get the effect, or from the spells. So it really kind of made use of the really like it made use of the Eldlich support rather than you know, like Ash Blossom is a zombie, but I didn't play like I didn't play any of the cards to like all the cards kind of synergize. That's the point I'm trying to make. So but also I thought Nibiru was really good, and Phantasme gets you to Nibiru, and so I was like, all right. But you know, everyone as I played the tournament, you know, like when I played against Cody Angeloff, he what a guy. I could go on about that guy forever, and not in a good way, but he would make Herald, right? So it made Nibiru against that matchup a lot worse. Then the Pendulum guy, who I think we talked about it, right? That deck is just unbeatable for this deck, that Endymion deck.
Yeah, it's just like FTK. I mean, like they're one of the decks that don't rely on a normal summon. So like, see you later with Denko, and like you can't play around it like Altergeist, where you can like bounce it out in like the standby phase, or like you shotgun like Protocol or Spoofing to get Faker out with with Siliquist in standby. But you just can't do that in his deck. You just literally get FTK'd.
Yeah, you just get destroyed, right? So it's just like, so but they summon Jackal, so that stops Nibiru too. So really the two decks you really want Nibiru for now play contingencies for it. So I don't moving forward, I might this is the section I might change. I mean, definitely the most flexible for sure.
Right. Okay. And then you have like the Mayakashi monster. So we'll start off with like Daki. So what does Daki do, and like why is she important?
So Daki is a level 2 tuner zombie, and I think she's fire. That part's not very relevant, but whenever you summon a Mayakashi monster from your extra deck, she revives herself from the graveyard, and it's not once per turn.
Gotcha.
So what you do is you just, I mean, there's like the level for synchros. It's like a 3, a 5, a 7, a 9, and an 11. And so basically Hajun is a level 1, which is the starter, and so Hajun and Daki together make a level 3 synchro, and then it just Daki keeps coming back, right? But then also very importantly, when a monster is a Mayakashi monster is link summoned, it also comes back. So whether you synchro summon or link summon, it'll keep coming back, right? And this is especially relevant when you work with like the next card, right? Which is Yuki Musume. So that's right after Daki, and she is a level 1 zombie who basically she serves as like a quote unquote extender for the Mayakashi like deck or whatever. If you have a Mayakashi, when she's in your hand or graveyard, you can special summon her. And then if you do, send a zombie monster from your deck to the graveyard. So this is kind of where the Mayakashi and the Eldlich cards synergize, because if you open a hand of like a bunch of Mayakashis and then or like the Hajun and like a bunch of traps. So you're like, how do I get to Golden Lord? Well, the Yuki Musume can send the Golden Lord. So she is very, very good. I'm not going to say like MVP because all the cards are meant to work together, right? But she sends Golden Lord to allow you. So there are some times where, as good as Daki is, when you summon Hajun, which is the only other Mayakashi I play, and he's like a level 1 wind zombie, and when he's normal or special summon, which is very important because sometimes you'll summon him off of the black Eldlich a lot. He summons a Mayakashi from your deck except himself.
Yep.
And by the way, whenever you use Daki or Hajun
Yep.
for the rest of the turn, and this is why there are so many Mayakashis in the extra deck.
Yep.
For the rest of the turn, you can only summon Mayakashi cards from your extra deck. So that's like a very, very important clause, right? So that's why there's no like Gustav Max or any of these rank 10s that would be pretty good.
Yep.
Definitely would have helped. Came up once, but
Yep.
I just couldn't put it in.
Yeah.
And so. But Yuki Musume is also like a level 1.
Yep.
So there are some turns where, because eventually you'll synchro climb essentially, and then at the end you'll make a link and bring Daki back, and so Daki will float, right? But if you have Yuki Musume, as well as like the Hajun Daki play, then you can summon Yuki Musume. Once you have that set up, like the link and the Daki, send Golden Lord, and then you do the whole synchro climb again because Daki and Yuki Musume make the 3 again.
Right.
So you just do it twice, right?
That's why you have 2 wolves in like the extra deck. That makes sense.
Exactly. Also because this is important because the clause for when these synchro monsters are destroyed is you have to banish another zombie. So and in order to summon like one down the chain from the graveyard. So at first you're going to banish Hajun, obviously, but then after that you'll want to banish, like if you did it twice, you'll banish like the second copy of it. So that way it gives you 1 additional copy. Also good if they have DD Crow, you know, the more copies you like, that's why you send like 2 lords, right? Like in the pure version. So same sort of concept there. So making 2 is really important. So that's generally how. And then in the spell, I'll just say this now. There's 3 Mayakashi return. I think the card's called. And that is, and that's how you search everything. So it's basically like a searcher or a foolish for it. The foolish part isn't really relevant. You kind of want to play around DD Crow and Call by the Grave as much as possible. So sometimes you'll send Daki because you can't summon Daki out of the hand, but like if you go Hajin, then summon Daki from your deck and you have the return, you'll generally want to add the Yuki Musume to your hand, just so that it's better to special out of your hand than from the graveyard, just to play around more cards. That's essentially the Mayakashi engine.
So I have a question, and this is something that Chad's been asking too, is like how if Daki gets DD Crow, like how do you like what happens? Like do you just lose or what?
So if you have, well, you don't lose, but you definitely half your extra deck is just locked for the game for sure. You're generally more focused on your Eldlich game plan, obviously, and that's why I think it's pretty cool because DD Crow basically has to do double duty against this deck, where normally you'd have to DD Crow the Eldlich Lord, but now you also have to Crow Daki. So they Crow Daki. Exactly. So you get Lord back instead. So that way now you're sitting on Lord and Traps just like the normal deck does. You still play like all the same support. But if they Crow that instead, then you're just doing a bunch of Mayakashi stuff. And Yuki is also good because she gets to send Lord as well. So if they DD Crow Lord early, and then you get to send another one, and then you can bring it back on your turn, and then it turns all your traps on, or on their turn, then it turns all your like golden land cards on. So. Obviously, if they do something to Daki, it gets a little rough, but having Musume as like a backup and a way to kind of connect the 2 decks really makes it much more beneficial. So.
Right. Okay, and now you have, of course, so you went into like the Mayakashi engine, which is around, I think, 10 cards in the main deck. So let's talk about your Eldritch engine. You play literally 3 of every single copy except the Haquero, and you have 1 copy of Guardian.
The other one, Guardian. Right. So the Mayakashi cards definitely make the other Eldlich cards better, for sure. So unlike the pure version where you play, I don't know, like a different ratio of the spells, of course, and maybe like a different ratio of the traps too. Like I'm playing 3 of the. So just real quick before I get into that, I played 1 Foolish and 1 Reborn, and that was definitely the 38th and the 39th and the 40th card. I wasn't really sure. They could have been. So one thing this deck lacks is, unlike the pure deck that plays Extravagance, this deck doesn't really play any of that. So you could play Popper Upper, you could play Magician Souls. So I think maybe going forward, I could try Magician Souls because it definitely is lacking in like the draw power department. But otherwise, you know, those, I mean, that they were definitely easy side outs for sure.
Because I was gonna ask, like, you know, like I noticed in like every other variant, there's either Souls, Popper Up, or like Extravagant. So like, Where's like the quote unquote consistency engine in this? And I think you're kind of like referring to like the return as like that sort of like replacement for, I don't know, extravagance almost, just because it's kind of getting you there. But it's but at that point, like, I guess my question is, wouldn't you just play Foolish Burial Goods to like make it more consistent or like overall?
Right. So the concern I had with Foolish Burial Goods is that it if it sends one of the, so that was definitely a consideration too, and I guess it could be that, but I wasn't really sure if I would like Foolish Burial Goods. Like this is where lack of general knowledge of the deck came in, where I wasn't really certain if because if I played Foolish Burial Goods, was it too slow in the sense that I'm really trying to just like pop off as much as possible, and my concern was having too many of the Eldlichs set. And so, but on my turn, I want to be able to use like Black Awakening to summon Hajun, and I want to have the White Destiny set and things like that. But I guess in hindsight, because a lot of the time I was not spending. There were some turns where I had to White Destiny out Hajun from my hand after summoning Lord from my graveyard. And so, but that didn't happen as much as I thought. So because of that, maybe Foolish Burial of Goods, sending White Destiny to get a Golden Land would have been better. But I played, to compensate for that, I played more Golden Land. So like I see in your chat, right? They're like, you're playing 3 Golden Land forever. And that's really important because I didn't play Goods. I didn't play like a way to search it like that. And I think that card is insane when you are floating Daki because Daki keeps coming back. So you're just stuck with this like 1000/0 monster in defense, and so your ending board is like Yuki Ono, which is the link to Daki, and then Golden Lord. And it's, man, that card is just Infernity Barrier. I mean, that card definitely, because your deck is just so aggressive. So then like you have like so many interruptions, right? Like I played again. I mean, you know, when I play, you wanna talk about Cody Angela, everyone's super obsessed with him right now. When we played game 2, it just like wasn't even close. I mean, like it was just like, okay, summon a guy, okay, Yoko that, okay, do this, okay, Golden Lord forever, or you know, Golden Land forever that. It's just very much like it's trying to accomplish a similar strategy to these like super go wide decks, except your negation, your interruptions in your back row and the monsters in your grave, and then if that doesn't work out, like if they have hand traps, you punish them by playing more of a control game plan. So,
that totally makes sense to me. And I think like the Golden Land Forever is like the thing that people don't understand about this card, and this is something I always try to do too, is you can tribute any zombie monster. You don't have to tribute the big guy. I think this is like a misconception that people have, like, because I notice a lot of people just tribute the big guy. I'm like, bro, just tribute your like Guardians, tribute your Conquistadors or whatever. I mean, the only time you wouldn't want to do that is like if you want to keep your Guardian lands or gold, like the Golden Lands, to make like a rank 5 plays, for example, in like a pure build. But no, 100%.
Which I didn't play.
Which you didn't play, but
that card's good too.
That card is nuts. But yeah, I mean, like Golden Land Forever makes a lot of sense in your deck because you're constantly floating Daki, so like the counter trap becomes quote unquote quite free. So yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah, there are just so many cards I mean, like Yuki Musume, like Daki, like you're just having these like zombies that sit there. And I was like, well, that doesn't seem very good because, I mean, then what do I do after that? So having a card that works with those cards, and again, makes those cards. So the whole point is just making all the bad cards much better. So that way I can play a more, so if they do stop my combo, like say they DD Crow Daki, I'm falling back on like a more control game plan, and I have much more resources than they do because I play more of the cards. So, so that's essentially where it comes from. And Hajun can just summon Yuki Musume. So if I have like another one or something, there's always like the Hajun summon Musume, bring back Yuki, or make Yuki Ono, bring back the chick, and then send Lords. You know, so it's even the bare bones minimum is still pretty good. I mean, sometimes it's good enough. So that's essentially the main board. I think the rest of it I just played at 3. I only played 1 of the Guardian and 2 of the Hakero because I thought those were the worst ones out of all of them.
Interesting. Hakero's like insane though. Like it's like infinite.
I like Hakero, but I think there are some matchups where it's just not as good. And I think in the mirror, it's of course it's really good. But I think other than that, I know it hits the Go-Go-Go's at Emancipator, but even then, you know, if you have Like I'd rather just have like the card that blows your guy up, then the counter trap to stop your next thing, and then Yoko coming back, and then it blows up your next thing, and then your turn ends. Like there's like no way you're playing through that. So
gotcha.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, I mean, but I still liked Hakero. I mean, obviously I played 2 of it, but and then the Guardian guy, I was like, look, you can't activate in the damage step, so I was like, I don't.
Yeah, it's kind of really terrible. When I realized like you can activate in damage step, I cut it. But then I realized like the extra name comes up a lot, where sometimes you have 3 lands in the graveyard, and especially in your variant, you want to set red, white, and black all at the end phase.
Exactly.
So there are. So that's like only like you have to play for that extra name for sure.
Yeah. So I think playing all the names is still important, like especially because Guardian is really good to send on your first turn with Eldland. Also, Hakero is too, just because I like to send Hakero first because that means I still have one in my deck. And that way, just in case I'd ever need the Guardian, I still have it, right? So you know, I think I don't think I'd change those ratios. I think maybe if Eldlich gets more popular, maybe I could play like the third Hakero. I just don't know what I would take.
I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but the stats for the PvG tournament was crazy. Like in top 8, there was like so many Eldritch players. Like I played
they're like 4.
I played 3 mirrors in like Swiss. I was like, what is happening? Like holy smokes. But
I played a couple too, and there are like some good cards in the extra I can go over real quick. Well, really it's just one card in the extra. Sure, whichever you want to go to next side or extra. But I mean, there's one card in the extra that really helped.
Yeah, so let's go in the extra deck. So you explained the level 11s. So level 11 is basically a vanilla, but it has a special summon where it basically makes its card unaffected. Right, the level 3 is okay. It makes all your cards non-destructible by battle. The 7 is nice because it's a non-targeting destruction on spells and traps on your opponents if it gets revived. And then the 5 is what, the pop or the mill?
No, 5 is the mill 3. So he's probably the worst one. I don't see any reason why I would ever do that. Oh, you know, there is a scenario I had when I was asleep at a dream last night, and I dreamed that they played the Adamancipator spell that like revives a guy, and they stacked the top card, and then I brought back the level 5, milled it, and then I won the game because of that. That would never happen in real life, so you know, clearly it was a dream. It was a dreamscape.
And then Yoko is insane, man.
Yoko's the best one. Yoko is loco, as I like to say. He's definitely the best one.
And he's also has like sick artwork too, so that's like also like, makes up for it as well. Yoko's
chilling, man. Damn, you're feeling all nice. You're playing him. You're like, yeah, what's up? He's graceful, right? So you're like, boom, baby. You know,
comes out
bring
nowhere.
The grace up in this Tyrese style.
But it's funny and it's awesome because Conquistador also non-target pop. So like having 2 non-target pops, like double Dryden non-pop is like, I think Dryden has to pop up. I mean, Conquistador has to pop up a face-up card, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Right.
But then this card is just a face-up monster or like any monster.
So it's just a monster, right? So also Tengu is like other thing the deck doesn't struggle with, I'd say, particularly, but I think another thing this deck just didn't have was like set back row removal. And so Tengu gives it back row removal. So I was like, that's kind of nice. Doesn't have Mystic Mine, but a Lord in your hand, if you have no monsters, theoretically does. Also the but more importantly, in actuality, the way you out Mystic Mine is the level 5 spell or trap. What is it? Conquistador.
Yeah, Conquistador.
Yeah. So that's an engine out. But everything else, like, it just doesn't have a lot of ways to out set back row, and that was the important part. I had Lord, but that was
Avenged Savior. This card is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. So that card's good. I mean, but I think the pure deck plays that too. Vampire Sucker too. I think those are pretty standard. I've never made Vampire Sucker, but I imagine Avenged Slayer, is like really, really good if you don't have Lord for whatever reason.
Right.
Also just does 1 billion damage sometimes. So, but Yuki Onna, so I'll go over the Link 2 first.
Yeah, Link 2 first,
which is like the effect is largely not relevant, but the fact that it can't be attacked if you control like a synchro monster that points to it just kind of makes your board a little more sturdy. But then when it dies, it brings back to level 11. So then it kind of, it's kind of good for the chain. Also, quickly make it with like a Hajin. It requires 2 Mayakashis, not 2 zombies. So you can just like quick make it with like Hajin and something else. But then the Link 4 is broken. The Link 4 is like Yuki Onna. I don't even know her full name. She's hot. She's, I mean, no pun intended, because she's ice, right? But she's hot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but damn, she's nice. Like so firstly, she has 2,900 attack. And so Lord has 28. So that's like kind of relevant in that regard. Just, attack, right? But so you're not just like sitting there so I really like Burning Abyss and the BA decks. They'd all just like sit back on Dante's, and like Dante could only go up to 25, and Dante was 25 defense, so they couldn't kill each other. So they were just like sitting there being like, "What are you gonna do now?" You know, like rubbing your hands. You're like, "First one who blinks loses, baby." You know, and people are like, "I love this mirror match," and I'm like, "This is crazy. This is so bad." So it being able to just swing over Lord is awesome. Yeah, and then also it just has this like crazy effect that can be used randomly twice per turn, not once. Where if a monster effect is activated in the grave, or like a monster is revived from the graveyard, it makes a monster 0 and negates it, and it's like a quick effect. So
that's great.
You just like so if they like bring back a Lord and it can't be destroyed by card effects, you just like activate Lord in your grave, and then activate Yuki Onna, and then make their Lord 0, summon back your Lord, and then you just attack for like 1 billion damage. So and that was another thing too. When they have like a Lord that is indestructible, it's like, what is the like you have to like wait a turn, you know what I mean? It feels like you have to wait a little bit before you deal with it. So I was like, no, I want to deal with it right now. So boom, what's up? So
that's crazy insane. So I actually looked at the Mayakashi engine, and that was like something I was doing on my stream. Like people were asking me about it, and so like I took the time to look at the engine as well, and I thought the engine was nice. And the first thing I noticed was this link for it as well, like the effect. I mean, it says negate any activated effects of your opponent's banished monster. That's broken. That's like a skill drain on like banished monster. Like imagine playing against Thunder Dragon. Like see you later, bro.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, done. No, it's over.
Alert?
They're like, bro.
Banish what? They're like, banish roar. Game over.
Yeah, they're like Gold Shark. This shit is nice. And then they're like, negated. Oh no, you know, or like Aloof Lupine. I never played against any of those decks, but also you can just like trigger it yourself on your turn, even if they're like, okay, well I'm not gonna kill Lord then, so you can't bring anything back. But like Yuki Musume can just like keep coming back. So you just keep triggering it. So even if they like have a bunch of stuff, you just like, you know, make it 0, negate it, make it 0, negate it, kill everything. Okay. So and it's permanent, and that's kind of relevant too. So
100%.
So that's the extra. I mean, you know, that's it. Side was kind of nice too.
Side deck. So explain the side deck. So 3 Spear Mode. I mean, that's a no-brainer, right? Like.
Spear Mode's crazy. So like, I know I play Hajin and stuff, but because of the spells that allow you to special summon the guys instead out of your shit, and then like when you bring back Lord, that turns all your spells on, but also you bring it back and special summon it out of your hand, or you can just special summon Hajin out of your hand if you use that effect. So you can still like Sphere Mode them and do the whole combo. So this deck isn't really good. I think, you know, maybe so I'd also maybe make this change too. After playing against a bunch of these Build-A-Board decks, maybe Dark Ruler No More is also just good in this version, but in the pure version, I think because you only destroy like 2 cards a turn, which includes your opponent's turn, because you like Conquistador their guy, and then you Golden Lord or like Golden Land Forever another one, and then on your turn you pop one with big guy, and then you summon it back, and then you kill something. So I think it takes a while to like grind your opponent out of stuff. Whereas with this one, you can like play Dark Ruler and then like kill like the level 11 synchro is like insane. So or I mean he's insanely big. So you just like summon him, summon Lord, attack a bunch of things after like popping with Lord, of course, and then like that is like more cards you're killing, and then you still killed 2 cards on their turn. So I think maybe Dark Ruler No More would be good with Sphere Mode as well. Just based on how underwhelming or how underperformed Nibiru was. But yeah, Sphere Mode was just really good, you know, to Easter, right? Happy Easter, everybody. You know, I had to play the egg every time I did it, you know, happy birthday, baby, or like happy Easter. You know, the Tyrese really came out, right? So boom, gave him the Sphere Mode. And that card was, that card was, that card is Sphere Mode, and they're like, I guess your turn is done, right? And then I would just like do the full combo, and they're like, oh no. And so like it was, that card was definitely MVP on the side.
Sphere was crazy. I was telling everyone, like, if you if definitely you play the chain engine, it literally comes back to you as a level 10, so you make chains kill them. Like,
that's crazy. See, look at this. I'm learning more every day.
Yeah, that's literally the perfect synergy with like raw Spear Mode. It's a level 10, right? It comes back to you. Lord, send in the card, special Lord, make chains. FTK boys. Here we go.
That'd be sick. It never came back to me. They always linked it off, but I mean, if it did, I mean that would be sick for sure if they would give it back. My opponents weren't that generous. I would give them it, and then they would just keep it. So.
That's messed up, man. Thanks. So Lightning Storm.
I know, right?
So how did Lightning Storm perform for you in Twin Twister?
Right, so Lightning Storm was really good, especially, so I actually don't like Lightning Storm as a card at all. I think it's really bad generally, because if you don't open it, you can't use it. But this deck is like a back row focus deck, so a lot of the times, if they play through your board, but not all your cards, so like you still have like traps and stuff, and you can like, obviously this deck resets their traps a lot, then you just boom, like draw Lightning Storm, like anytime you draw Lightning Storm, you can like make it live. So that's what I really liked about, and I mean the card's obviously powerful if you resolve it, so I was like, boom, I'll play it. So that card was good too. I'd say it was like the second best card on my side. And then Twin was like fine. You know, if you go second, I was like, I'll board it in only going second, and you could Twin, discard traps. I mean, Twin, discard the spell. It makes like your hands that are like kind of bad or kind of slow, it makes it better. So I was like, maybe that's more beneficial. Cosmic might be better, only because in the mirror match, like Twin is obviously not that good in the mirror, but like Cosmic is much better, especially in the pure deck. Maybe not so much in this deck because you're doing so much damage so fast, but like when you're like grinding back and forth, you want them to have as little traps as possible. The games go long. So. Right. Twin was all right though.
Yeah, I think Cosmic is just absolutely insane. Like, I mean, the fact that like they lose a resource forever and like they don't get to recycle it is just insane. Yeah.
So that's maybe Cosmic is better. I don't know. I'd have to definitely play more, get more reps in for sure, as my coach from Duelist Academy, Bowden, likes to say.
Getting those reps, that's so fun.
So
I gotta check. Like the Duelist Academy page out. I know like Jesse and like
it's good.
I think they just
highly recommend it.
Yeah, like a bunch of people they just got a new coach. I'm pretty sure. So pretty high
you guys are gonna like him. Trust me. I hate to sound like the Men's Warehouse guy, but y'all are really good. Especially all y'all like stands out there. All y'all like you know, like the stay at home, never leave your house type. Kind of like, you know, all y'all I only like tier 15 decks. You know, if you play meta, you suck. You know, all those like live under a rock kind of people. You'll love this new coach. I'm so serious. You guys can't keep your money away anymore. Like I'm just saying. This new coach is tight.
Shout out to Vlad too. Yeah, he's actually on the stream right now, watching and talking about this.
Oh yeah. Oh, what up, Vlad?
Yeah. So.
What up, Vlad? Yeah. Hold on. Somebody's spoiling it in the chat. Get him out of here. Get that dude out of here. No, they're all spoiling it now. It's Jeff Jones.
It's Jeff Jones. Yeah, no, I know it's Jeff Jones. Yeah, I saw the thing. Yeah. I think they announced it. They announced it. Yeah, they announced it.
Oh, did they? Okay, then I'm the one who's living under a rock. It was me.
Yeah. Anyways, and then 3 Judgment, bro. Oh, no, 3 Evenly match. How was 3 Evenly match?
Oh, but that card was really good too. Definitely the side plan against the mirror match was when you go second, you just put in Lightning Storms, put in Evenly, and just clear as many cards as possible. And Evenly is just so good against that deck because what I noticed is they only play like a hand, like maybe like 2, sometimes even 1 Golden Land Forever. Whereas I play 3. So against me, they're boarding an Evenly match, and it's just like a skip a turn because then they Evenly, I negate it, and they're like, oh well, now I don't have a battle phase. But for them, it like generally resolves. Or like you can just get Lightning Storm in, they negate it, and then you just Evenly the rest of their cards. The sequence is actually you Evenly first, then you Lightning Storm. But
wait, why? Why Evenly first and then Lightning Storm? Because can't they just recycle their traps in the grave?
Right. So you definitely, if you Lightning Storm first, and they don't negate it, all of their traps go to the grave, and then they could just. So if they don't chain anything, and you don't like make a big push that like kills them, then they just reset everything. So if your Evenly resolves, so my concern was, what if they just don't negate Lightning Storm? So that like Lightning Storm is obviously just weaker than Evenly, so you try and get Evenly in first, and if it resolves, when it resolves, they lose instantly. Whereas if Lightning Storm resolves, I mean, you're still playing, but at least on the bright side, if you hit him with a Lightning Storm, your play can kind of go through, and then you can set your own cards.
I mean, so that's just like theory wise, if you were to Lightning Storm hypothetically and blow out the whole back row, and they don't know you're playing the Mayakashi variant, right? So the whole back row is gone. The only thing left is like Lord on the field and maybe like you know, like 1 or 2 hand traps. Like, can you just straight up kill them if you just Lord send their Lord, and then like can you push for like that 8,000?
You would need, so you can, but you need the Hajun play, and you need, if you had Lorded their Lord, you need the Hajun play, and then you need White Death. And then you need like another card to send for Lord. Yeah. And then you just kill them because you summon the 11, you summon Lord, attack with both, and then you in the battle phase, of course, because playing around Nibiru, etc. You White Destiny back, summon like Yoko or Tengu, and then attack for the remainder, like the remaining point of damage. So yeah, you can actually just kill them on the spot. So, yeah, that's another reason. I mean, you can just like Lightning Storm kill them sometimes, which is good. The other deck can't do that, but I mean, Lightning Storm is just like good against the other back row decks. So,
yeah.
You know,
against guys, like see you later, bro. Enjoy.
Just like game over. Yeah. They're like, oh no.
The only trap that floats for them is like manifestation. That's the only one. And then maybe like the monster one, camouflage, if you count that, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't even know what that card does. That's how rarely it card. So I pretend like it doesn't exist and just hope for the best. And then last 3 cards. I know I'm taking a ton of your time. I love to teach. I love to explain. So 3 Solemn Judgment. Mainly because this deck, I just want 3 more Golden Land Forevers, but also this deck can't stop Pendulum Summons, which we mentioned earlier. So it has so few cards that interact with that deck. So I wanted like a card that stops, not Dark Ruler no more, because that card isn't good, but like against this deck, but like Lightning Storms,
evenly match, like,
evenly match, which is really important. Their play in general, just having like an extra card to just be like, what's up? It's also good when you go first to side out Phantasme, especially against decks Phantasme is just not good against. Phantasme is a card that's very commonly sided out. So you just put the Solemns in. I like to take out so I kind of wish there was a way to get 3 more go first cards in, because I kind of want to take out Nibiru too, because once you do the whole play, you have Sanguine and White Destiny set, so there is like never really a good opportunity to Nibiru them. And
I think
so
I'd
rather it be
like Cosmic
because you're locking the zombies,
twins, like something like something that will help you like go first, so like slightly a little better. 100%.
Right. So I mean, like something like, I don't know, Strike, you know, that would be. But there's like Anti-Spell, I guess, like Imperial Order. But there's just no way to fit all that. So, you know, do what I could, dog.
Yeah, of course. Well, anyways, guys, and yo, Alex, congratulations again. Thank you for taking the time to come out.
Thanks, dog. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course, anytime. And so, guys, I'm gonna upload this on YouTube. So let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on this variant of Eldlich. Like, when you play this list, is there anything you would change to this list? And yeah, guys, without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Awesome.